What up, everyone? Welcome back to the show. It's your girl, Denise Salcedo, joined by Robin Lundberg. Robin, I feel like I haven't seen you in 1,000 years. How are you?
It has been a minute. I mean, it's only been a month, maybe, but it feels much longer, Denise. I've missed you so much.
Yay, we're back. And I can't believe it's funny because we're all, happy we're back. Hey, here we are. However, I'm going to have to pivot to a totally different direction in that, Robin, so much has happened since the last time that I saw you guys. So much has happened in the last, 24 hours. And the biggest wrestling news that we have been hit with on the news waves in a very, very long time occurred yesterday with the passing of Hulk Hogan, which at this point, everybody has talked about. However, you and I, Robin, we haven't had a chance to talk about it here on the channel. And on today's episode of Smackdown, this is today they paid tribute to Hogan by doing video packages of his career as well as a 10-bell salute with the entire roster as well as some legends out there. But Robin, I guess I'll start with, the last 24 hours. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's been going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, I hosted on Busted Open yesterday at noon. And that news came down at like 11:45 a.m. Eastern time, so right before the show. And in a way, it was an honor to be able to do those 2 hours of programming about Hulk Hogan, considering I thought Cody Rhodes put it very well. Right. Like there's been a lot of conversation since then. And I think age has something to do with it. And obviously how people personally feel has something to do with it. And I'm never going to tell anybody how they personally feel. Right. Like we heard what Hulk Hogan said on those audio recordings. There's no way to sugarcoat that. And people can feel the way that they want to feel about that. But when you talk about his impact on the business, Denise, I'm not sure you and I are sitting here having this conversation right now if it's not for Hulk Hogan. And some people may not quite, realize the magnitude of that, but it's the truth. And some of that comes with age. Again, I'm a little older. And I lived through both arcs of Hulk Hogan, but Hulk Hogan is what made wrestling capture the imagination of children and crossed it over into the mainstream. He was the first true wrestling star. I remember Hulk Hogan was in Gremlins 2. He had the various movies. He was in Rocky, all those sort of things. And when he slammed Andre the Giant, that's probably the single biggest moment in the history of the business as far as crossing it over into the mainstream, as far as it being, I think 30-something million people watched that at the time, some ridiculous number. I remember going into school after he went against the Ultimate Warrior and our teacher talking about it after school. So like Hulkamania, Saturday morning cartoons, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, 24-inch pythons, the mega power is going to run wild on you, brother. And then after the man is, in conjunction with Vince McMahon, we got to tell the truth. In conjunction with Vince McMahon, they brought wrestling mainstream, but that character specifically, Hulkamania and Hulk Hogan, made professional wrestling mainstream. And then after that was the NWO and Hollywood Hulk Hogan and the turn at Bash at the Beach. And, the NWO and Hollywood Hulk Hogan, that's a whole nother career arc that also changed the business again. Completely opened the door for the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and Degeneration X and what is now known as the Attitude Era, to the point where Hollywood Hogan stood across the ring from The Rock and the crowd turned in his direction at that time. So it cannot really be overstated, the significance. He's probably, or I don't know if I need a qualifying word, the single most significant figure in the history of professional wrestling. So to see that news come across the timeline, it's a whole rush of emotions. And then obviously you have to deal, everybody's their own life and legacy. Everything you do is part of your legacy. But there were a lot of people yesterday, I think, and maybe not everybody gets this because not everybody lived it in real time, who a piece of their childhood died when that news came across their timeline.
Well said, Robin. I mean, you just kind of encapsulated a lot of what one of the things that I had said when I was watching the tribute video for Hogan was that, and even just when I was thinking about this yesterday, because oh my gosh, even though I was out at Comic-Con, it was just in the back of my head the entire time, thinking about this insane news that we had just came across. And the whole time I kept thinking, man, it really feels like Hogan. We have seen him live a million lives or so. It feels like when you really think back to all of that, it's a million different lives. And it's just there's so many different things to say. There's so many different ways that you can describe Hulk Hogan, that you can talk about Hulk Hogan. And the one thing that I do feel is that, I mean, I've just been thinking so much about this, right? And I've been trying to think, I almost feel like you can only say what feels true to you, right? And like Cody said, Hulk Hogan is not an easy person to talk about. He is a complicated figure. He is someone that unfortunately made a lot of things that he said a lot of things that were not, they were ugly, they were horrible, they were horrendous. And he did things in the pro wrestling world. As much as he gave to it, he also unfortunately did hurt in so many different aspects as well, right? And so it is very, very hard. And then just the way that his career and his legacy ended towards the end, it feels almost sort of ironic, Robin. Like when you think about like what made Hulk Hogan, famous and popular and made him connect with all these little kids was that they saw him as this hero, right? These little kids saw him as like, oh my God, he's so cool. And, take your vitamins and all of that, right? And so kids loved him and adults loved him. And then to kind of see your career and your life end like this, where the actions that you did towards the end cause people to not feel, there's been, a lot of people just saying like they don't care and good riddance and goodbye and all of that. That's what we're seeing online. And it's sad, but that is how he made people feel. And so it's just crazy. You know what else I've been thinking about, Robin, is I was there when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I'm this little, teenage girl there. And, I was a Hulk Hogan fan at the time. And I was, clapping and cheering. And oh my God, I can't believe I'm here for the Hall of Fame induction and how cool. And everyone was so happy being there. And then, fast forward, 20 years later in the same city, I was there at Raw After Mania when he was, Raw After Mania. I'm sorry. Raw on Netflix, the premiere, and he's being booed tremendously. And that was a 20 years difference in time. Like, holy shit. Like even that, those little two events, Robin, that I experienced firsthand, just a night and day difference. And again, like you said, legacy matters and what you do matters. And that was one of the other things that I kept thinking about today was, people do great things in their life, right? They do great things, but you have to keep it going, like, or else you're going to tarnish your entire legacy. And it's horrible to see someone tarnish their legacy, because at the end, when you and I go, Robin, I know we don't want people listening here. We don't want people being like, yo, fuck that person, right? They were awful. You don't want people saying that about you. You want people to say good things about you. But in order for people to say good things about you, you got to be good to the people. And that's, what makes your legacy. So this is such it's a tough conversation to have, but it's life and it's real. And that's where we're at the moment.
And to the other side of it, though, I had 3 consecutive callers yesterday, grown men crying, because again, they had the action figure or the buddy. They were called buddies, I think, back in the day. So, sometimes people say separating the person from the art. I don't even know. That's your individual decision. It's everybody, but I think you can take it and you can say, okay, what Hulk Hogan said and did, and this is how I feel about it. And again, that may just totally besmirch everything he ever did before. And then you can also just look at it and say, okay, what did Hulk Hogan mean to professional wrestling? And that's why I like what Cody said, because that part of it isn't complicated. It's not complicated to say that this person was kind of like the big bang for what the business became. And that part of his legacy, it wouldn't matter if he was the nicest person who ever lived or the worst person who ever lived. That would remain the same, because that is etched in the history books from Netflix to Coliseum home video back in the day.
Really? I mean, I'm sure you experienced it. I'm sure the listeners here experienced it where I was getting text messages from people that I didn't even realize would be texting me about this. I mean, my aunts were texting me about Hulk Hogan. My mom was texting me about Hulk Hogan. And it's just it's one of those deaths that when they do pass, this isn't just within just a community, but a lot of people obviously knew of Hogan, and he's the most recognizable pro wrestler out there. So it was just it was crazy, like the whole entire thing. And yet I think for me the whole time what I've been thinking about, Robin, is that, and this happens to me whenever anyone passes away, I always have a really hard time finalizing it. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't process it. Like this person is gone. That to me, anytime anyone dies, I always struggle with, damn, this person's gone. Like just like that, gone.
Yeah.
Always struggle with it. And that's the part that I'm still sort of stuck at. So while everybody's reevaluating all these things, I'm still processing. I'm still like, damn, I can't believe it. And I just can't. It happens all the time.
It makes you come to terms with your own mortality too.
Yes.
That's part of it, because Hulkamania feels larger than life. NWO for life. And hearing some of the clips or reliving some of the clips, I think about it. I saw a lot of this in real time, but okay, even the NWO, Scott Hall gone, Hulk Hogan gone. You go to the turn itself at Batch at the Beach. Who's on the commentary then? Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was the manager for Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. Giant, Heenan, gone. Gorilla Monsoon on some of that commentary, gone. Macho Man Randy Savage, Mega Powers, gone. Ultimate Warrior, who he squared off against so famously, gone. Muhammad Ali, who was part of WrestleMania 1, one of the most famous athletes of all time, gone. And so that's just like a mental Rolodex of legends that I'm pulling right there that were part of me growing up, and they're all gone. And for Hulk Hogan to be gone, that's one of those signature marks. It is. I mean, it's one of those ones. People, there's I don't know if there's anybody, you to talk about the phrase living under a rock. You had to have lived under a rock to not know who Hulk Hogan was, whether you ever watched a wrestling match or not.
No, that's true. That's 100% true. And it's just, it's a tough one. And the one thing that I've been reiterating the entire day is just live it up, guys. Live up your life the best you can, because this is a hard subject to cover anytime. And I hate it, but it's part of what it is. I wish we could just sit here and entertain people and make stupid jokes and things like that and talk about pro wrestling, which is not even something serious. But then to talk about serious things like this, it's always very, very hard. Also, Robin, shout out to you, man, for doing that show yesterday on the fly like that with 15 minutes notice. I would have freaked out because you got to prepare so much. You're still processing your feelings. You haven't even had a chance to go and see how people are reacting, what is going out there. So I don't think people realize what a tough task that is.
Yeah, the only way you can do that is be raw, be honest, and roll with it. Because it's one of the most significant days in pro wrestling history, and I'm on pro wrestling airwaves across SiriusXM, Pro Wrestling Nation, and that's the way I've been doing it a long time, so the experience helps. But I looked at it as an honor to be in that position, to be quite frank, to be able to be the first voice to that many people in an audience for a prolonged period of time. So I just tried to do it justice.
That's awesome. We got Sucho here who says, hey, Robin, hope you're doing all right after doing Not Sam Wrestling Live on Thursday afternoon. Those last 3 calls almost got me too.
3 in a row, all in like audible tears, on the phone, grown men, obviously too, like 40, 50, something years old.
Yeah, I know. I remember gosh, and I know this is a SmackDown show, but this is obviously, what we're talking about. And then also the 10 bell salute and everything. But I remember just, having the fact that there's an outlet to even talk about this type of stuff. When Eddie Guerrero died, I remember just bawling my eyes out. And, there was nobody else that I could talk to about how I felt about a celebrity that I didn't know Eddie. I didn't know him. You guys didn't know him. Like, we didn't know him, but I was crying in bed like if it was someone I knew. And so when you have an outlet to talk about it and talk about, someone passing and you're really, devastated about it, it's nice to be able, the fact that people were able to call in and openly, shed a tear and talk about their feelings. Like, it's a great thing to have, to at least be able to talk about it with somebody who might understand.
Yeah, I mean, look, even though the promo package today gets you a little, because and some of those feelings that you feel, you can't even articulate into one word and say like, this is how I feel. It's just that swell of emotions of seeing, the kind of the montage of your life and your life as you viewed it through Hulk Hogan's life.
It's just a lot. It's a lot to process, guys. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says, "Hey Denise, miss you. What's up, Robin? Haven't seen you in a while. Tonight was a great tribute for Hogan, but thought there would be an interview from everyone." No, this one was very, very different for sure. I think the only wrestler that actually spoke about it on the show was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is really great at like talking about anything that is sort of complicated. People have always said, when he's done with wrestling, he should go into politics, right? Because that's who Cody Rhodes is. It's just a skill that he's got. How did you feel about him going out there and prior to addressing John Cena in their upcoming match at SummerSlam? He did go out there and he did say, I don't remember verbatim how he said it, but he did say, Hulk Hogan is a complicated figure to talk about. But at the end of the day, this is what he impacted in pro wrestling. How did you feel Cody Rhodes handled that? And were you expecting some additional tributes the way that Anthony Giuliano here just brought up?
I think Cody Rhodes said it perfectly. Couple things. The additional tributes, it did just happen yesterday. So that's one thing. Some of that, you saw what happened with Chelsea Green online too. So there's a little bit of the Pandora's box. Maybe they don't want to open and everybody alive, Mike, or whatnot. And maybe some of that will come in a documentary kind of form. I don't know, but it did just happen yesterday. So I thought it was handled with tact, with the 10 bell salute, the video package, and then Cody Rhodes being the one to sort of represent the company. But as I said at the top, I think he said it perfectly, because you can say the part about it being complicated in Hulk Hogan or Terry Bollea, the person, but his impact on the business not being complicated at all, because that's the least complicated thing that there's ever been, is Hulkamania to Hollywood Hulk Hogan and thank you for the house, right? Like that's what a wrestler would say about Hulk Hogan's heyday, especially. So I thought it was really, really well put by Cody Rhodes, and it's why he's in the position he's in. It's why people would say QB1 at times, and it's why he's the one that had the microphone in the middle of the ring.
Thank you, Anthony. We got Infamous Raider Loco here with a very generous super chat. He says, stepping in to say what's up to Rob and our DWO leader, Miss Denise. Enjoyed the show. Women taking over first hour. Way too much hotness. Alexa, Roxy, then Jade, Chelsea, Tiffany. Lord, needed 2 oxygen tanks. Is this the biggest TLC match ever? I am ready. So we did end the show with a bang for sure, because we closed out. It was the Wyatts versus Andrade and Rey Fénix. Now, even though I wanted to see Andrade and Rey Fénix win, we all knew that wasn't going to happen. The Wyatt Six, they just got their championships. Like, it would have been kind of messed up had they ended their championship run right then and there. And the way that it ended with the DQ and all of that, especially it looked like Andrade and Rey Fénix were about to get this victory, it really made me feel, Robin, I really do think that Andrade and Rey Fénix are going to become the next tag team champions. And fingers crossed, I'm sorry, Wyatt Six, but I want it to happen at SummerSlam. I'm sorry. I know it would be so short, and boo you, Denise, but damn it, Andrade and Rey Fénix are just damn good wrestlers. And then the promo video that they did today, Robin, I was such a fan of it. So I'm sorry. I want to see more of that. And they did make a TLC with pretty much every tag team that you saw out there. So who is that? That's DIY, Street Profits, what else am I missing? All of them.
Fraxium's in there.
Fraxium. Oh my gosh. Fraxium in a ladder match. Like, okay, I got the full list here. Wyatt Six, Andrade and Rey Fénix, DIY, Fraxium, and then Motor City Machine Guns and the Street Profits. That is 6 teams in a TLC match. 6 teams. Earlier they put out both cards for SummerSlam night 1 and night 2, and everybody was talking about how all of the tag team matches are on night 1. I'm guessing they're putting this TLC on night 2 now. So now it's making more sense as to why they decided to not put any when they made the earlier announcement.
Well, all the stipulation matches are on night 2, so who knows the exact reason?
Yeah.
It is a.
Oh, you're right too, pretty much. I mean, except for no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But that is a total chaos. I mean, my kids were pumped at the announcement. So really, I mean, I think that's just a showcase for some high flying bumps and action. And it's almost like, what is the floor for that match? It's pretty high, right? The ceiling is very high, but so is the floor, right? Like, what's the worst it's going to be? It is super duper entertaining. So I think it makes a lot of sense. SmackDown's been this sort of playpen for the tag team division, and now they're going to get a chance to put it, put on a show in front of the biggest show since WrestleMania, at least.
I feel that the way they ended the show today, at first I thought, DQ, finish this, stinks, right? And then once I realized, okay, they're going to make a TLC match, I thought, oh, great. They're really making, I love the ending once they actually announced the TLC, because at that point, everybody had been fighting with everybody. We've been seeing Montez Ford took the air, Angelo Dawkins took the air, everybody was flying about. And then closing out with that ending, I thought that made the tag team division actually look very cool on SmackDown. So I was a fan of how they ended up closing it after the DQ stuff. So that could be that could be the match of SummerSlam, this freaking TLC match.
I mean, it's definitely gonna have the maybe the most action. I mean, when I'm just looking at the matches itself, the triple threat with the Rhea and Io Sky and Naomi, I'm looking forward to a lot, just because I couldn't have been a bigger fan of the Io Sky Rhea Ripley match from Evolution. In fact, I think that might be the greatest women's match of all time.
Might happen. It could be, honestly.
Yeah, that match was so great, and then you have that. And then also the tag thing is a little, the amount of tag matches is a little skewed because of, one, you have the fact that Jelly Roll and that match, which I'm sure we're going to get to. And then, of course, the other big tag match, which is probably going to main event night 1, is a little bit of a pivot because of the Seth Rollins injury.
Oh, yeah, that is definitely true. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says, I feel bad for Jimmy Hart. He is taking it hard. Yeah, I'm glad that he was able to be there, though, because obviously it meant a whole lot to him to be there and to be able to be part of that 10-bell salute. So I'm glad that he was able to at least be there. Anthony also says, everyone putting flowers down at his shop in Florida. Oh, I haven't seen that. Thank you for letting us know, Anthony. We got Infamous Raider Loco here who says, I will say, by the way, thank you, Infamous Raider Loco, for this generous super chat. He says, I will say my work knows me as a wrestling guy. Got a phone call that day, and boss made reference in our meeting this morning in the full room, said Frank thought of you and was wondering if you were going to call in sick, then did a tribute Ozzy and Hulk wrestling guy. That was another passing Ozzy Osbourne. Man, Robin, I don't know if you saw the last performance where he was singing Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Yeah.
One of the hardest videos that I've ever had. I when I watched that, I went back and I ended up watching it 3 times. I don't know. There was something about that video that was so heartbreaking, yet so beautiful to see. Because he got his moment. He got to go out the way that he wanted, performing, and people, and loving him and crying in the crowd. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, I mean, but it is nice that, to have that final performance so quickly before the grand finale for Ozzy Osbourne. But yeah, another, I mean, they say it comes in 3s, right? I have Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Hulk Hogan. But not everybody gets something like that. I mean, we were just talking about it with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan didn't get the "When It Comes Crashing Down and It Hurts" on Netflix, right? With the Real American Beer. It didn't quite go that way for the Hulkster. So doesn't make it any less painful, I'm sure, for his family and friends or the many fans of Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne. But it is something to think about as a nice touch to the end of his life.
Yeah, I was just thinking, if you're going to go out anyway, you do it with doing what you love and with the people and just like that. So yeah, man, if you haven't seen that video, if you want to watch it, check it out. Thank you, Infamous Red or Loco. We got JJ Castillo here who says, if it wasn't for Hogan, WrestleMania wouldn't be as a big event without his involvement. Wrestling wouldn't be as big today without him. Rip Hulk Hogan. Thank you so much, Jay Castillo, for sending your thoughts in. And obviously, as Robin and I just discussed here, and everybody will, agree with that. We got Steve Fight here who says, I'm 59 years old. My mother got me into wrestling at 8 years old. Hulk was my mom's favorite wrestler, so Hogan's passing hit me hard in more ways than one. Rip Hulkster. Yeah, especially because you associate these people with your memories and whatnot. So, Steve is going to associate this with his mother, and, you love your mother. So, of course, you're going to have these mixed emotions and all of that. It's a lot. Yeah, man. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for sharing that and sending some love to your mom. We got David Kaplan here who says, I was wondering, Denise, have you ever met Hulk Hogan? No, I never met Hulk, actually. He was at the Fox premiere when SmackDown was there, but I think if he did interviews, I think he just did so with like the first like 3 big outlets. But he definitely didn't get to where I was at the press line. So I didn't get a chance to ever meet or interview Hogan.
Yeah, he might have called you brother.
Yeah, for sure. Just crazy because that day I remember I got Sting, I got Goldberg, so it was just like wild. And I think about all those people that were there. Thank you, David. All right, so let's go ahead and get into Jam. There's just a lot to get into here on today's show, but let's just touch on some of the other stuff because I do want to talk about Logan Paul because he went out there immediately after they did the 10-bell salute and the tribute video, and we got some back and forth between him and Jelly Roll. Robin, I was so surprised. Well, maybe I shouldn't be because he's a celebrity and he's used to talking on the mic. But damn, I thought Jelly Roll did a good job with his promo. I can't even talk shit. And Robin, you weren't here when I talked about this, but I literally said, I don't want to see Jelly Roll in this match. I don't want to see this match. I could care less about this match. What are we doing? But I got to give him some credit for that promo.
I think the build to this match has been pretty good, to be honest. Look, When the idea first came around, I was a little bit like, all right. But then I also went to that same mental Rolodex and remember how many different celebrities have been a part of wrestling over the course of my life, whether it's back to Hulk Hogan's days with Cyndi Lauper or Lawrence Taylor, who's an athlete, but going against Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania, to Bad Bunny, to Johnny Knoxville. I mean, 2 of the most memorable matches in recent times to me are Bad Bunny against Damian Priest and Johnny Knoxville against Sami Zayn. So that can happen. And then I do think they've done a nice job with the build. I'm not even that familiar with Jelly Roll. I think I understand. I understand his genre of music, I guess, just from the little bits I've heard, but I haven't really been a consumer of it. But I think one thing that's become clear in these promos and in these segments is he has a genuine love for what he's doing, and that is coming across. And I loved the Randy call out. I hear voices.
Oh yeah.
Into that, like, I love that. And I feel like every time there's been a segment of this match on TV, the crowd has responded to it. I think the stuff on late night TV got a lot of views. So is it going to live in the annals of the most important matches that ever were booked for a major PLE? I'm doubtful. But I do think for what it is, it's been built very well, and it's going to get a good reaction come next Saturday at MetLife Stadium.
He looks like he's having the time of his life, like legitimately looks happy. And I thought, damn, man, I can't be a hater. I can't be talking shit when the dude looks this happy. Come on. That makes me kind of a dick, honestly. I was thinking about that. I thought, damn, I was shitting on this match because I really was. Because I thought, dude, Drew McIntyre could be in a totally different match. Randy Orton could be in a different match. Love, hate, Logan Paul, he could be in a different match. And I'm like, they're doing all of these really big, important names in this match. And that's what my original thought was. But now that I see how happy he is, I was thinking, damn, I can't be mean about it.
Randy seemed really into his promo a few weeks back too. If you remember when he came out, like he was having fun with it. And let me give a little credit to Logan Paul because he's the one that made Jelly Roll look good in the ring. After the promo part, the bumps in there, Logan Paul did the selling on that. So give him a little credit.
Yeah, yeah. We got Anthony Giuliano here who says I met Hogan 3 times and he was nice to me all 3 times. It's very nice, Anthony. We got Matt B. Matt, thank you so much for all of the support that you've been sending out this whole entire stream. He says, I can relate to Denise. It's not exactly like Stephen Amell joining in for a tag match. Gonna head out, but having safe and good weekend. Maybe grab something delicious for breakfast in the morning. Oh, you know it. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. So I will most definitely be doing that. Matt, thank you so much for the support and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, Matt. All right, we had Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez. During this match, Alexa Bliss got a little distracted with Charlotte Flair and Raquel Rodriguez going at it on the outside. This led to Roxanne Perez getting the victory here and also holding the ropes as she rolled her up. So she also pretty much cheated. But Roxanne Perez gets the win. And the big thing that we really got from this was just them showing more of the bonding between Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss and showing that Charlotte cares for Alexa because Alexa was like busted open and all of that. It was fine. It was fine. I really do think we're going to see them win the titles at SummerSlam. I'm feeling good about it right now, Robin.
Yeah, I definitely think so, though. Well, otherwise, what's the point? I would say of putting them together. Like it's just kind of like, what are you doing with Charlotte there? And Alexa, really, considering she gets good reaction from the crowd. So yeah, to me it felt like, all right, here's a little bit of a build to this match, which isn't one of the pillar matches on the card, but at the same time, the fact that they're even tagging together makes me think they have to be getting a payoff.
Oh, yes, I'm with it. All right, we had Jade Cargill versus Chelsea Green. I thought the way this was set up was pretty funny because Chelsea Green was running her mouth backstage and Jade Cargill, she was talking shit about Jade, and Jade pops up from behind and basically beats her and carries her out there to this matchup here. And it's very quick. She hits her with the Jaded and gets the win. I liked the way it happened and how she got to the match. At one point, Robin, I'm not even sure if when she was carrying Chelsea, I think she might have even hit Chelsea's head through the entrance, or at least it looked like that from the camera angle. I thought it was very, very funny. Did this stand out to you at all?
Well, Jade is very good at the brawling kind of physical stuff. She makes it. She looks good when she's doing that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just continues to make her look strong as you get into that match with Tiffany Stratton, which is what I'm curious to see how that one turns out. Because Jade is still in that phase of her career where she is getting better and having more and more one-on-one marquee matches, and then Tiffany Stratton's also like at the peak of her career, but it is still like not in the category of some of the rest who have done it over and over again and showing you like I'm putting on a classic with anybody kind of. So I'm curious to see how they're going to mesh and how that's going to come out. But overall, it was effective. It's not like the highlight of the night or anything, but I think it was an effective way to utilize Jade and build up to that match.
Yeah, they got her a win. She got a little confrontation. And I think you're right about Tiffany too, because when you think about it, Tiffany was on such a high, right? She was so popular, getting a lot of buzz. Then the stuff with Charlotte happened. The match wasn't great at WrestleMania, but at least the people were talking about the feud. But then since then, even though she had a really good match with Trish Stratus at Evolution, I don't feel like anything else has been so hot surrounding Tiffany Stratton at the moment. So I feel, I guess it's not really, we got a few more weeks to kind of heat this up with her and Jade, but it doesn't really feel that heated just yet.
Well, it's only one more week, Denise.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking at my calendar and I was like, there's only 1 week left. Never mind. It's crazy how fast SummerSlams even come. So You know what? Take the Tiffany Stratton Jade Cargill match is as is. Don't expect to get it hotter or colder. It's just what it is. We got a super chat here from Anthony here who says, when Hogan debuted in TNA January 4th, 2010, you can see me and my sister cheering in the front row, and I will cherish that video forever. Wow. Anthony, the fact that you got to be there is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. We got Sleaze Boy here who says, I want WWE to give either Nikki Bella or Chelsea a misandrous gimmick. What is that? Misandrous gimmick? Where all she does is blame men and Christian Cage for her problems and loses. It will be like watching a bad episode of Reba. What? Sleaze Boy is always coming up with the most wild things on this show.
Misandrous is somebody who's prejudiced against men.
Okay, misandrous. Ooh,
but the Reba poll, the Reba poll got me. I I've actually seen that show. But I would not have thought we'd get a Reba mention on the program tonight.
I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking of who can rock this misandrist character if there ever was one. I don't know. Because I was going to say Chelsea could make it funny if she did. She can make it funny.
Toni Storm.
Toni Storm.
Yeah.
I can see that being funny too with her being like anti-men. So funny. Sleaze Boy, thank you so much. We got Infamous Rare Loco here who says it has to be Alexa and Charlotte winning. They can turn tag titles around, I hope. Seeing Tiffany and Jade matching, looking incredible. Gonna love that match. Yeah, I did love how they kind of had like similar gear today. I did think that was appealing. Thank you, Infamous Rare Loco. All right, we talked about Cody Rhodes mentioning Hulk Hogan, but also what we didn't talk about was the rest of his promo, which was him talking about John Cena and basically saying he doesn't want to face this John Cena. He wants to face John Cena with the most respect, with the most hustle, with the most loyalty. There really wasn't that much to really gravitate towards this promo. Yeah. If you have something on this, Robin, color me shocked.
No, it's also not Cody's fault in this case.
No.
Yeah, you can only do so much when the opponent is not there, when you can't see him. So that is, he did what he could, and I think there's a level of anticipation for this match that I think is higher than WrestleMania though. And I believe it's because people are like, what's going to happen? Right? Like, what is to come with John Cena's run? Could there be the double turn? Is the title going to change? Is Cody just going to get it back? How do they make up for what happened at WrestleMania? So I actually think there's more buzz around this Cody and Cena match than the WrestleMania match, even if the promo build, it's not as necessary because the curiosity build is there for you.
I think it's because people just want it to be better. They're really, really hoping. Like, this is the last go, at least from the looks of it. This feels like the last go to get it right, or at least make it somewhat entertaining. So I think that's probably why there's this anticipation. It's this anticipation of, okay, is WWE going to make this into something incredible, or are they going to drop the ball again? I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. The Miz versus Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu got the win on The Miz after The Miz slapped him backstage. However, he was then, even though he had a little help from Jimmy Uso, it just wasn't enough. He got taken out by the My Family tree, which is Solo Sikoa's bloodline. And Solo Sikoa was, lifting up the belt and celebrating. Yeah, I'm thinking Jacob Fatu takes that strap back at SummerSlam too.
Yeah, Solo got some heat though. Give him credit. The FU Solo chance going out there.
He did. By the way, I'm supporting since the last time you were here, Robin. I didn't like Solo Sikoa. The last time we've done this stream for like the longest time, right? If I was going to put it in a measurement scale, I would say I dislike Solo Sikoa at about 100%. I've now decreased that to at least 60 to 70%.
Okay. And he got some help from Taller Tonga. So like
so funny. Taller Tonga.
But in the steel cage is a nice touch. I feel like the build for that's been pretty that's a pretty I don't know how much potential it has as a match itself, but maybe for some hard-hitting bumps and the like, and some heat from the crowd. I think they've done a nice job with that feud. And Jacob Fatu, Rohan, my youngest, he asked for a Jacob Fatu shirt. That's the one he got. So it goes to show you that they've done a good job in a still relatively short a period of time. He ain't been there that long. When did you do the interview with him? That's how I remember Jacob Fatu's
November 2023, I think.
But it wasn't until WrestleMania that it sort of resurfaced, right? So
it resurfaced at WrestleMania, yeah.
So really, we're only a year and change into Jacob Fatu in the WWE, and he already feels like a big star.
I remember when I first posted that interview, it was sitting at like 3,000 views for months, okay? Months. And then when he made his debut, that shit exploded to thousands and thousands. And then the videos that I posted on social media got millions of views. And I'm like, bro, that was sitting at 3,000 views for at least a good 6 months. Like, it was crazy. Like, no one cared. And then suddenly everyone and their mother cared. It was great. It was great. I thought, yeah, it was like cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like, I had this and I finally cashed in and I won. It was nice. It's been nice. We got Infamous Raider Loco. It says, I don't know who's winning between Cena and Cody and not sure what I want, but street fight should be wild. I love Kiana James being back. Had hoped for her before injury, so hoping this is her push. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Frank. I kind of feel the same way about John Cena and Cody, but also, yes, you mentioned Kiana James. She's looking like she may be managing Julia. That's the vibe that I got because she was kind of speaking for her in this little confrontation with Zelina. Kiana James, by the way, if I recall correctly, she was drafted a long time ago to the main roster, but we just hadn't seen anything from her. And thankfully she's on here, because if not, the alternative would have been like a release or something, because we hadn't seen her. So thankfully they found something for her and she's finally on TV.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's just so many. The women's division is so stacked. It's hard. It's hard to make your way in there now, which is a wild thought from the past. But the Evolution show itself put that on display. Not to mention the WrestleMania card coming up. But yeah, seeing some of these folks and perhaps what could be done with Julie in the future. It's difficult. It's a difficult job to get everybody the amount of shine that people think they deserve or warrant, and we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, hopefully it works out for them, because I think it could be something cool, something different. Thank you, Infamous Raider Loco. Alrighty, everyone. That is Friday Night SmackDown, July 25th. A nice 2-hour show, baby. We are in the 2-hour era once again. But Robin, first of all, I'm so glad we're back. We're back doing the show on a weekly basis. Very cool. So if you guys enjoy SmackDown and want to talk SmackDown, we'll be here every Friday night. Robin, have you started your channel with Rohan, by the way?
I got
it.
I need to do it around SummerSlam. Look at this.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit.
That's
he got
Raj.
the picture. How did this happen?
This is when I was at All-Star, WNBA All-Star for Indianapolis.
Oh, shit.
Raj texts me those photos, and I'm just like, I said, holy shit. Actually, I texted back my 10-year-old son, holy shit. How did that happen? And he says,
oh, so you weren't even there.
I wasn't even there. He said,
oh my God.
They were in Florida. And he said he was by the pool eating a cheeseburger, and he saw a man walk by with a tattoo that looked like Jey Uso's tattoo. And then he looked up and he said, that is Jey Uso. So
that's like the dream come true, to be a little kid chilling and you see your favorite freaking wrestler in the most random, unexpected place.
Yeah. So
what did he do when he saw him?
He went up to him and talked to him, obviously. took some pictures. Rohan, too.
Wow. That's so cool. Oh, my God. I'm just thinking about how I would have died, Robin, had that happened to me as a little kid.
I'm taking them all to SummerSlam next week, the whole family. So I'm thinking that would be a good launch for the Ring Rascals channel. The only problem is, Denise, I don't want to work.
I get it.
I don't want to work around SummerSlam. I just want to escape. But we got to get it. We got it. If there's ever going to be a tentpole event, maybe we film some stuff and then edit it after the fact, like a vlog, and that could be the launch point.
Yeah, it has to be, because if it's now or never, Robin, now or never.
You're right. Next week, I'm getting it up off the ground.
Stephen Marchulli here says match of the year for the women still could be Rhea versus Stephanie. Yeah, that was a good one too. I think for me, it's still the triple threat though. And then I know some people are also going to say Rhea and Io, but I'm still going with the WrestleMania triple threat. Thank you, Stephen. We got Infamous Raider Loco says Kiana James had a bad injury, her leg. There's videos out there coming back, so I'm glad she's healed, but have a great night to you. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you, Infamous Raider Loco, for reminding us of that. Thank you.
You got to come in my chats too, Infamous Raider Loco.
Let's go.
He's dropping coin in here.
Let's go. And speaking of which, so we got Infamous Raider Loco here. It says, can't wait for Rhea versus Stephanie. When they do it, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, that's the one people are waiting for. I mean, I thought we were going to get there sooner, but hey, letting it ride a little bit, letting it ride. All right, that is our show for today. Robin, tell the people where they can find you, support you, check out your content.
Yeah, follow me on X. I plug everything there. Robin Lundberg Show on YouTube, but like I said, and I will be on. Are you doing Busted Open next Saturday morning?
I'm doing next.
Not tomorrow, but
I'm doing they gave me the slot of 9 to 1.
9 to 1?
Yeah.
With
Eastern
the regular
time.
I'm,
It's like an extra hour though, right?
Oh, they didn't tell me about an extra hour, but I am doing
Because they
that.
told me 9 to 1. That's an extra hour on top of my normal time slot. And then Sunday, I'm doing 12 to 3.
I'm doing Saturday 9 to noon on the
Okay,
second.
they told me 9 to 1.
Well,
So you better be there for that last hour, Robin.
we will be doing Busted Open next Saturday together, it appears.
No, you're just gonna stop at the third hour and be like, "Bye, Denise. You're alone for the next hour, sucker." That's so funny. All right, okay, yeah, that's why I had to look. I know I'm doing it. I just don't remember what time. All righty, well, there you guys have it, everyone. Thank you so much, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You're already here. If you enjoy the content, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Bye, everyone.